Hey, it's Pat here. Today I thought we'd take a look at this odd Transformers offering from Takara TOMY. Released in 2018, this set was offered as a mail-away with the purchase of a 2017 DVD or Blu-ray that, according to the TF Wiki, was of the Japanese variety show called Downtown. Even if you haven't seen this before, you'll probably immediately recognize that it's been retooled from the head of the 2016 Titans Returns Fortress Maximus. Let's take a closer look at it and see where this rabbit hole takes us, or just where I ramble today. Inside are two Titan Masters that share the Transtector body, which transforms into a head. These two Titans are based on a comedy duo who appear in the show. I look at these guys and imagine that the equivalent in the US may have been something like Conan O'Brien and Andy Richter as headmasters. Because the Titan Masters each have their own names when on and off the Transtector, and the Transtector transforms into a head, we actually have 5 names to learn. I apologize if my pronunciations throughout this episode are rough, but here we go. This Robohead is based on Hitoshi Matsumoto and combines with the Transtector to form Guchirimas. The other is based on Masatoshi Hamada, and when it is used as the head, forms Donarimas. Either can transform into giant Fujiwara, which includes new electronics featuring lines from the DVD by the comedy duo. The face of the giant head is based on the show's producer, who I understand is often the subject of the duo's jokes. While the bodies of the Titan Masters are identical, each has a unique face and head mode. The rest of the Titan Masters' bodies are a redeco of the Titans Return character Emissary. Now, I tend to think of that toy as either Spike or Fort, but the Titans Return line instead gave him the name from the 2001 Robots in Disguise cartoon. Now, I happen to have been gifted a used Fortress Maximus that's missing Emissary and some other bits, so this is kind of perfect for me, and I'm wondering how I should customize the body, or even if I should. Should I add some flavor with some aftermarket add-ons and some Toy Hacks label sets? Or should I paint it to match giant Fujiwara? Reading even more with the help of the TF Wiki, GKSL stands for Gasu Kodobikari Science Laboratory. So it makes sense to me to recolor it as the imaginary laboratory itself, but I also don't have a ton of time. Let's pop this head on and listen to some of the sounds it makes. Now, this was not the only Takara TOMY Fortress Maximus item that may have flown under the radar. Just as a refresher, in 2016, there were 2 Hasbro releases, one at San Diego Comic-Con and one at regular retail. And then Takara TOMY had their own regular retail version. The Takara TOMY one and the Hasbro San Diego exclusive included swords, but the Hasbro retail one didn't. However, if you bought the Hasbro retail one in China, there was a sword that was made available. Then, as a side note, in 2018, Takara TOMY did release a redeco as Grand Maximus, and the electronics, the sword, and the deco are not the only differences between these various releases. The Hasbro San Diego Comic-Con exclusive and the Takara TOMY releases featured a face for the Emissary head that was based on the original toy, while the Hasbro retail one was based on the US cartoon and comics. These release choices made a lot of sense. In Japan during Generation 1, the Headmaster's cartoon character model matched the toy, while in the US, we were used to seeing both the toy visage and a different one depicted in the fiction. But this is where it gets interesting, because eventually Takara did release that American Cerebros face in 2017. This time it was named Exo-Suit Spike, and instead of wearing the armor usually seen when Spike's a part of Fortress Maximus, They sculpted the body to look like an Exo-Suit, complete with a clear dome head. Fittingly, this toy came packaged with Bumblebee. And I would think that since Hasbro had already sculpted this for their retail release, that this would have just been reused for that figure, but that just isn't the case. It's really strange, but if you compare them, they are actually two completely different sculpts, and so they are two completely different toolings. You could see that the jaw is different, the length of the mouth is different, the width of the head is different, the visor is especially different, there are dots on the side of the face of one. These are two completely different sculpts. But the figure that may have really been forgotten came in 2019 with the release of Bump of Chicken Sonic Blue Bumblebee and Exo-Suit Chama. Off to Wikipedia to understand the reference, Bump of Chicken is a Japanese alt-rock group that was formed in 1994. So like the Downtown set, the Titan Master is based on a real person. This is the band's bass guitar player, Yoshifumi Naoi, whose nickname is Chama. I enjoy the clever design of the tiny Titan Master head. If you look at the extremely tiny clear dome, you can even see a face inside. Looking closer, you can see this is achieved by it being sculpted on the back of the head and painted. The sculpt is a bit narrow, so when you see it through the convex surface of the mask, it appears to be more proportional. Now, there was a similar head that was included in the 2017 Titans Return RC toy, but it was painted silver instead of molded in transparent plastic. So I thought I would compare them. This is Line-Ad. Line-Ad is just Daniel spelled backwards that was included as the head of RC. And looking at it, I can clearly tell that it is very different. It does not have that sculpted in face on the back of the head, and it's actually a bit taller. So it's a different sculpt again. While I was taking pictures for this video, I noticed that I really like the way that the gold Chama head looks on the body of Grand Maximus. Here are a number of releases of Spike and the rest, just for the sake of fun comparison. I hope I didn't leave anything out related to this specific toy. I could have, because there have been a lot of releases of Titans Returns Fortress Maximus and related figures. If I did, please leave a comment. And please do leave comments, because I really enjoy those. That's, for me, where the work of making the videos ends and the fun really begins, is the interacting with people. And if you enjoy this, please clip and save by clicking the bell. Thanks again.
Thanks for watching this episode of Articulated Points. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'd appreciate it if you would like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to learn more about some of the toys featured in this episode or want to follow us on social media, links are in the description below this video.